Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, da doo-dah day.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
Hey, I'm
Hey.
back. Yeah, I just got a crazy notification that we're not broadcasting to Facebook.
We have not been able to broadcast to any Facebook page or group for at least 3 weeks now. It's the whole time you've been gone. The only place we got is YouTube, Twitch, and
Twitter.
yeah, that's it.
Well, when the hell did this happen?
Like I said, 2 to 3 weeks ago. Right after they said we couldn't stream to groups, they turned off streaming to any Facebook.
Well, that sucks.
Yes, it does. The only thing that I could figure to get rid of the little boxes is just go ahead and remove them.
Let me try that.
Uh, okay, you're making the pop-up boxes disappear on my computer. That's good. I don't have to do it.
All right.
Yep.
Now, let me try this. Uh-oh. Take that off. Save changes. Edit.
Gonna try and add some of them back.
Yeah, see, just give it a shot. I mean,
Hey, it's something I was not willing to try.
and there
They
we
are
are.
they are all green checked. Okay. What edit did you do?
Uh,
Change.
I deleted them all, and then I added them back.
Okay.
Delete them all, save changes, then add them back.
I will try that on mine.
Later tonight.
Yes. Not now because it wouldn't do any good. Dawn is worn out for today. Well, Carl.
Carl, what did you do?
you made her dust Donna's blue china, didn't you? Ah,
Oh, and I just
oh,
Lewis is in or was in Vancouver
uh,
making
evidently.
a connecting flight to Alaska, the Republic of Russia.
Okay. I'm going to have to see if I can find the other Stupid O'Clock channel because this one is not showing me any comments on the iPad. So,
The Stupid O'Clock YouTube or Facebook?
YouTube.
Okay.
Um,
Well, hello, Rob Brown. How you doing tonight? Boy, John must have
that ice
um,
cream must have really hit him.
hit him good.
Okay, now I have absolutely no Stupid O'Clock link on my iPad for YouTube.
What did you do?
Um, I
I am
re-uploaded.
alive, Rob. It was touch and go there for a little while. But yeah, Dan. Uh, while Donna was not feeling well, I went out and got me a 4 cheese crystals.
Oh, that ought to make you feel much better.
$8, $7.80 something cents for 4 cheese crystals. So I guess thank you, Rob, thank you.
Okay, now I've got comments back over here.
All right.
Uh, hey, I saw Carl said something, and then that was it. Okay.
But yeah,
It's
eight
the only
eight
only
dollars for
reason I'm using the iPad is so that I can make comments without it showing up to every channel that we're broadcasting to.
ah,
Uh,
send it everywhere. I don't care.
I
Um,
hate seeing it pop up in the chat like that though.
yeah. But yeah, $8 for 4 cheese crystals.
Oh,
I can get a full meal at Taco Bell for that with a drink.
Dawn just had some appointments. Only made her capture some munsies, just a few.
Just a few dozen.
Oh, yeah, I understand completely, Carl. My sinuses have been driving me nuts for about since winter seemed to be over. Uh, Rob Brown, glad to hear you're on the mend. People worry about you, Joe Dog, when you're not here.
Uh,
Dawn made her goal, though. Okay.
yeah. Oh. Oh. I was hoping John would get back, but it don't look like he's going to make it back.
He will
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah, I got to tell you something my granddaughter told me.
Oh, I'm all ears.
Now, I was hoping uh, John would get back to hear it.
I will. Uh,
We were out in the backyard of their house, and she starts yelling, "Papa, Papa, look, look, look. It's an armored dildo."
okay.
Ah, yeah, that was pretty much the same thing I said. And my daughter goes, "Yeah, that's an armadillo. Yeah, don't touch it."
It's
Oh,
a
oh, but yeah,
medieval possum. It comes with its own suit of armor.
Uh, but yeah, that was just one of the fun things that happened.
I'm surprised that some taxidermist hasn't made up little swords and jousting spears and assembled a few dioramas with armadillos in uh,
No, they're
combat.
they're urban assault possums.
Urban assault possums. Yeah.
I mean,
I'll
that's what
never
they look like. They got on tactical armor.
I'll never forget Lindsay went out to a bag of potting soil we had outside one of the sheds, and she was about to fill up a flower pot with potting soil, and she opened the bag even wider than it had been before, and all of a sudden it erupted in armadillos coming out the other end of the bag. Evidently, they've been nesting in the potting soil for a few months during the winter.
Well, it is sort of warm.
Yeah, well, and now it had extra fertilizer. Uh,
Yeah,
scared her to death.
would have scared me too. Oh, and the Pupskis, they caught a baby possum tonight.
Hmm.
It didn't fare as well as the raccoon.
That's not good. Oh
Yeah.
well.
It was about the size of a rat. So that's what I thought it was when I first saw the tail hanging out.
Hmm.
They weren't going to eat it, but they weren't going to let the other one have it.
Keep away, huh?
Yeah.
Well, hunting instincts.
Well, hell, the husky damn near 80% wolf anyway.
I know. I know. We think this German Shepherd is about 80% deer. She's the same coloration and almost as big. Tell you during hunting season, I don't even want to let her out in the backyard inside the chain link fence.
I guess you're going to have to put an orange vest on her.
Had to spray paint her orange. The vest ain't gonna do it. You remember, I'm in one of those places where if you put a concrete statue of a deer in your front yard, somebody's going to shoot at it, even if it's concrete colored.
It's one of them albino deer.
It's a bulletproof albino deer. Don't look, Ethel. There was one guy that had one of the archery target deer out in the yard to the side of his house rather than the back. I guess there wasn't any neighbors close enough to where if an arrow went past the target, it wasn't going to endanger anybody. Woke up in the middle of the night to somebody just blazing away. Somebody had spotlighted his target from the road and was just lighting it up with sounded like a deer rifle. He said that he had to go buy a new uh, target archery target deer because there wasn't much left of the one that they shot at.
You need to quit. They need to quit that because game wardens love just setting them on the side of the road.
Hey,
And with these new fancy trail cams they got, they'll set them up and just put a trail cam on it, and able to read the license tag.
yeah,
And just, can you step outside for a moment? We need to talk to you.
No, can't step outside. Show me your warrant. That'd probably
Yeah,
be
we'll show you the
stupid.
warrant. Here's the picture.
Until I see the judge's signature, it ain't legal.
Of course, I've heard the game warden don't need judge's signature.
I don't know nothing about that.
I mean, there was a game warden up here, well, just north of us. He got in a bunch of trouble.
Can imagine, but do tell.
He would stop the bass boats as they came out of the boat ramp.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd say, well, you're over the limit here, so I can give you a choice. I can write you a couple $1,000 of tickets, or you surrender the fish. In the back of his truck, he had a big cooler of ice. When the cooler was full, he'd quit stopping people. Then they'd have a fish fry Sunday.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he got in a little bit of trouble for that.
I imagine so.
One of them, be just a smidge under size, confiscate the whole lot. And some people said his ruler was rigged.
Yeah.
Yeah, they some crooked game wardens.
Oh, we had one down here that was similarly bent, and he mysteriously disappeared. Ain't never been found.
You can only do that so many times.
I don't know. Those old rock quarries in Elbert County, they're pretty deep.
Yeah. Hell, we got a rock quarry here in town. They use the local dive shop here uses it as certification for deep sea.
Hey, some of them are deep enough, yeah.
Here comes Johnny.
Anything over 90 feet is considered a deep dive.
Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, Shallowford Road is
That's the Martin Marietta Quarry, and I'm not sure how deep it is. Donna.
It's in the 1,400 foot range.
I know there's one that the local dive shop used to go to, and it's up in Saudi somewhere, some private land.
Yeah.
And these two brothers, it was in the family. These two brothers owned it. One brother gave everybody permission to come up there and go diving. And the other brother didn't like it, but wanted half the money. So when he found out there was a dive crew, he went up there and argued with his brother back. And his brother says, I arranged all this. You ain't getting no money. Wound up, they shot each other. So all these dive students show up in the dive van. And there's two bodies laying out. And it's like, guess we ain't going scuba diving today.
Yeah,
not unless the police ask us to look for more.
Yeah,
we found these two. We just about got our limit.
Yeah, I know exactly. That's that one right up by Hickson High School. That's now the Hickson Utility District. water. You're not allowed to swim in it anymore.
Yeah, I know. No, I don't think it's that. I think it was farther out near Saudi, falling
Oh,
water
okay.
that somewhere out there. So it was. It was
Yeah,
a.
there's one reservoir we used to go fishing at when we were kids, and I went up there. I don't know, must have been probably before Lindsay and I got together. Just walk around because it's not that big a lake. Just follow the trail on up, and it's got housing developments all around it now. So and no fishing signs, and I'm going. Uh, I'm sorry, this is a county watershed. Are you allowed to put up no fishing signs if you're not the county? I wasn't fishing, so I turned around, walked out, and never went back.
Oh goodness! Breaking news: jury finds Donald Trump guilty of all 34 counts of hush money trial.
I was not going to bring that up, John.
Oh really?
Yeah. But now we have to wait on the sentencing trial, do we not?
I would imagine so.
I think that's the way it works.
If there's anybody still alive after all this to actually go to the sentencing trial, it's not that Donald Trump would pay to have people knocked off, but I'm pretty sure he owns Boeing stock. So
They'd
The
probably
hell?
be glad to have it back.
see, last week I was talking about how Vladimir Putin keeps making nuclear threats against NATO allies and all sorts of stuff. And I was talking about they got that little area called Kaliningrad, which is over there between Poland and Lithuania, and it is Russia's only all-weather, no ice port that they can get ships in and out of the North Sea area. That's why they still have that piece of property. Gives them a port. But the thing is, they either have to go through Lithuania or Poland to get through Belarus to get to Russia. So, and the thing was, they've got a lot of troops stationed there. They've got Navy base, Air Force base, just all sorts of stuff there. And it's about the size of Rhode Island, of course. And I was making the joke the other day, it's a nice country. It'd be a shame if anything happened to it. The U.S. Air Force flew 2 B-52 bombers out of London, England, or somewhere in the area of London, out of England, through Germany, across Poland, around Kaliningrad, and back to England, just as a show of force saying, yeah, we ain't forgot about you. And to give you, it's funny. Somebody showed because they were flying in the green, so everybody could see them. Basically, they weren't stealthy or anything. You could pick them up on the air traffic trackers. And somebody had put a picture of their flight on the air traffic tracker on the screen, and they flew out over Belgium, did a little box formation, flew out over Germany. Right before they got to Poland, they did another little box formation, and then flew straight across Poland around Kaliningrad, and then flew all the way back to England.
I can imagine what that looks like.
I wondered about the box formations. It was just past the Belgian-German border, and there's a big box formation. And then right before they got to Poland, there was a little box formation where they just flew in a big box. And if they had done that before they got to Belgium, and then before they got to Germany, and then before they got to Poland, I would have thought it was flight patterns waiting for permission to enter that country's airspace. Because especially Poland, Poland got surface-to-air missiles all over the darn place, and because of everything Russia's been doing lately, they're kind of trigger-happy. So, they're real ticked off at Russia because Russia keeps flying their cruise missiles over Polish territory. And Poland's like, okay. Wait till we knock a few of them out of the air.
Remember, we did kick your ass once. Wasn't Poland pretty much the fall of communism, the beginning?
One of them. That was one of them. Oh, was it Lech Wałęsa? Or no?
Yeah,
it was in Gdansk. Yeah. Which is in, that's strange enough, those bombers I was telling you about flew right over Gdansk. So, but yeah, was it Lech Wałęsa and the Gdansk shipyard strike? And the communist government wanted to go in and break up the strike. And basically everybody said, no, they have a right to strike. Yes.
Carl is agreeing with you.
And yeah, that was a fun time to be in Europe.
I can't think of any time since the Black Plague that was fun to be in Europe.
The night the Berlin Wall came down was pretty impressive.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
The Beatles in Liverpool, that was pretty, that's.
John, have you ever watched on YouTube the Hydraulic Press channel?
Yes, where he crushes stuff with hydraulic press.
Yeah. You know what his latest thing was?
Oh, God. What did he do this time?
He got a ball about yay big around of depleted uranium.
How'd that go?
I don't know. He hadn't posted anything since.
Crushed a little bit too much, didn't he?
Depleted uranium is the densest metal humans can work with. Okay. So I know it can be pressed or something like that, but I don't think it's really that hard. It's not brittle, I don't think. It's sort of like...
Depends on how much it was actually depleted before he threw it in.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they don't give him the good stuff. So. Speaking of uranium, there are like, I can't remember if it's 5 or 7. There are 5 or 7 sites in the world where the uranium underground is actually undergoing a natural nuclear reaction.
Oh yes, there's a big one in Africa.
It's in South Africa somewhere, and I want to say 5 of them are in South Africa, but
I wouldn't doubt it.
Oh, so they're about to go critical mass, and
no, they're in the water table basically, so they're staying wet, but they're producing steam geysers, stuff like that. But you go down there, and it's 800 degrees in a cave.
Yeah, there was a theory that at one time they were a bit more active than that and could have contributed to random mutations in the hominid population in that area.
And they say
several million years ago.
And there may, just may, have been a Chernobyl type event that exacerbated the continental shift.
Okay, I bet a drought had something to do with that, since it is a naturally
or exactly I think they were talking about exactly the opposite, was glaciation. There was so much water getting down to it that it created a massive steam explosion. And
okay.
Consequently created an earthquake and got everything moved about.
Yeah, I was thinking the other direction entirely. Without the water, there wouldn't be anything to slow down the reaction. But yeah, a huge bubble of steam would do some damage too.
You remember they were trying at Chernobyl. There's a famous scene, if you ever saw the series on HBO, where they're digging underneath the reactor to put in cooling pipes because they were afraid it was going to melt all the way through the bottom of the reactor and through the sand and the concrete and everything, and eventually melt into the ground, and get to the water table. And said if that had happened, A, there would have been another huge steam explosion, and B, it would have poisoned that entire water supply for that area. And that's pretty much everything down. Everything from Kiev down to the Black Sea would have been undrinkable.
Yeah.
Like Turkey and, Iran and Ukraine.
Well, isn't that what happened at Fukushima?
Not really. It did contaminate some of the water, but they're right on the coast. I mean, it's literally seaside property.
Yeah, that was more the tidal wave. Wasn't it an earthquake?
Yeah, it was an earthquake and a tsunami. Earthquake shut it down and kept it from operating properly, and then the tsunami hit, and they didn't have any way to run the pumps and then everything went downhill from there. If I'm not mistaken, there were 6 reactors. 2 of them were critically damaged, and I think the other 4 were various stages of damage. And they had to flood them, which created a great deal of radioactive water, and that's what they've been releasing over the last few months. I think they started that last year sometime. But they're slowly pumping it little by little out in the ocean, and
Godzilla is not.
And Godzilla is happy. See Godzilla out there in the middle of the Pacific going, "Oh yeah, that's good, man." Okay.
Needed a hot bath.
I find it funny that they came out with 2 more Godzilla movies since that happened. So let's see.
Yeah, one of those I haven't seen yet. I think it's the latest.
Godzilla -1 is pretty good. It takes place in the timeline, takes place before all the other Godzilla movies. This is like when they first found Godzilla.
Okay.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I may be wrong about this, but I think it takes place in World War II.
There's been a couple that kind of hinted at that, but they were not strictly Godzilla. They kind of pulled in other kaiju as well.
Monarch with Kurt Russell started out pre World War II.
Right.
Of course, it's got his son Wyatt Russell in it. And if you don't believe in cloning, you got to look at those 2 side by side.
Oh yeah. It's like It's like Snake Plissken Jr.
Have y'all seen the Flash movie?
Nope.
No.
Oh.
Haven't had the opportunity yet.
Dan, I'm going to tell you, there's a scene you're just going to love.
I'm sure there will be several.
The Flash hits multiverses.
Okay.
I will spoil this. The Nicolas Cage Superman was amazing.
Okay. I was not expecting that.
Okay, I take it there are a lot of fan jokes in the movie. So,
in this, yeah. When he starts hitting the multiverse, it's the George Reeves Superman.
Oh Lord.
They were at one time going to do a Superman movie with Nicolas Cage as Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of the test footage.
And it I don't know what happened. It
fizzled.
Yeah, it fizzled and never got made. So actually having him show up is Superman's kind of funny. But strange enough, he did do Hell Rider. He played
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
Yes.
Like Johnny Blaze. And was that Johnny Blaze?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because strangely enough, it's Johnny Storm that's the Human Torch. Okay.
Yes.
And
got to keep all these characters straight.
and they showed the Linda Carter Linda Carter
Wonder Woman,
the Adam West Batman. It was DC fan service to the fanboys.
And that's one of the other problems with DC and Marvel. Every time Marvel came up with a character, DC would come up with a copycat character, and vice versa.
Yeah. There were a lot of instances in that, not only in the comics, but in the animated stuff that was done as well. We'll pull this one out of mothballs. Oh, well, we'll pull this one out of mothballs.
Like DC had Aquaman, Marvel had the Submariner. Let's see, what was the other ones?
Batman's Iron Man.
Sort of. Billionaires in suits. Yeah, that's
yeah.
Billionaires with daddy issues.
Let's see.
I went there, Dan.
I know.
Let's see, what were some
we have a gracious surplusage of those in real life too.
See, now, who would be the Marvel Wonder Woman? She-Hulk? She hadn't been around that long, but of course they made Captain Marvel female.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
So I guess that would be close to Wonder Woman.
Yeah, but much later. I was trying to figure out what the initial response would have been.
Wonder Woman was a Greek goddess, sort of, and so what would be the Marvel version? Where's my comic book people when I need them?
In the chat? No, not in the chat. It's a different show. I am thinking it would have been somebody from All Winter Squadron or one of the other things that was set in World War II. No, Carl, ISIS was a separate production.
No, she was ISIS was also with DC because she was there with the other Captain Marvel. Or wait a minute,
Shazam,
Captain Marvel. Yeah, is that DC?
Yeah,
that's it's DC now. It was Fawcett before.
No.
There is a Shazam story based in Chattanooga, the Ghost of Rock City.
Did he have green eyes?
Okay.
Did he have green eyes?
No.
Have you been paying attention? There's this thing. It's on Facebook. It's called You're from Chattanooga If, and it's got all the famous Chattanooga area. I think you're Chattanooga if you've been to the Choo Choo or Rock City or Falls. But one of their regulars there is some guy runs around like in a black ghost costume with two large tennis balls for eyes. And he's the Green Eyes mascot.
Well, you've heard the story about the park ranger down at the battlefield, didn't you? Had the green lenses that he'd snap over the takedown lights, and would drive through the park with his night vision goggles, catch lovers parked out in the. Flip on the takedown lights and go. Scare the shit out of people.
I've always wanted to do stuff like that. Oh, did I ever tell you I had a brilliant idea for getting into the Guinness Book of World Records?
What?
Well, I can't tell you over the air while we're live or anything like that because somebody else will figure out how to do it before we do. But it wouldn't be too expensive. It might take 4 days.
You'll have to put that one in the private chat.
Okay. But it's be a couple days driving there, doing the event, of course, getting hotel while you're there, and then a couple days driving back. So you're maybe looking at 3 hotel rooms and 4 days. If we were younger, we could have driven straight through, but that's.
Yeah.
I'm ready to take a break on the other side of Atlanta.
Just out of habit, when I was driving back and forth with the military and everything like that, I used to drive about 3 hours at a time when I was driving down the freeways. So I drive about 3 hours. Good time to get fuel, about a half tank, a little less maybe, depending on what I was driving. Pull in, get fuel, use the restroom, grab a cup of coffee, just good, quick break, nothing fast. And that's my driving thing, 3 hours. And it's a military habit too. The military, you never try to go anywhere unless once you get to half a tank, you either turn around and go back or figure out some way to refuel. Because if you got half a tank, you can get home.
How far is
Unless
it to
it's
the
uphill.
nearest 7-Eleven?
And usually you trade out drivers too, don't you?
No. But it takes so long to refuel a military convoy. You could get down, take a pee break, go poop, eat lunch, take a nap.
Still got 3 trucks left to go.
It's now sometimes depending on the vehicle, you would switch it. You got a driver and a co-driver driving that, maybe a vehicle commander, depending on the type of the vehicle, and you might switch out. We did occasionally, but usually we didn't drive for so long that one person couldn't drive it all day.
Now, I remember when the troops deployed from Fort Campbell and was using 24 to 75 down to deploy out. This was when the Hummers were new. Somebody ran over something and cut a tire. There was not a tire to fit a Hummer in Chattanooga.
Why am I not surprised?
Well, I mean, we've got a National Guard armory here in Chattanooga and a couple of reserve centers.
They didn't
Yeah, but
have
this
Hummers
is when they
yet.
were brand new.
They had to wait on a truck to come by. They called Fort Campbell to load an extra spare on the next truck out the gate.
Yeah. Well, of course, now that I think about it, we didn't have spares when we first got our Humvees either. But
Yeah, they sat on the road on 75 at exit 1 for about 4 hours.
now the thing is, the tire that's on a Humvee, when they first came out, they were Goodyear tires. They were actually a standard truck tire. It's a little odd shape, but nothing. They should have gone down to what's that darn place down there in Chickamauga? Does all the off-road vehicles.
I can't remember.
Um,
I don't even think they were open then.
Yeah, I don't think they're open now.
I think that was late 91. Late 90. Because it was early 91. That Russia realized, we don't want to fuck with them.
You just reminded me of the only time I've had a flat tire on my way to LibertyCon. Had left Atlanta up in between Atlanta and Chattanooga, and all of a sudden Light on the dash comes on, low air pressure, and the van starts wobbling back and forth. And I pull over and going, okay, well, get the owner's manual out. Let's see where the spare is. Spare turned out to be a donut underneath the van. Had to crank it down on its little cable, get it loose. I had the other tire pulled off, had everything jacked up, ready to replace. I go trying to fit the donut on there, and I'm going, something ain't right. And I pulled the donut away, and I looked, 4 holes in the rim. I looked at the wheel,
5 lugs on the.
5 lug nuts. You ain't putting a
It
4
don't
lug
fit.
pattern on a 5 lug wheel. So I put the old one back on, threw the donut in the back, didn't even bother to. I sealed up the spare tire compartment, but didn't bother to put the donut back in there. And got on the cell phone and called the nearest town. Somebody come out with a flatbed, picked us up, took us to a tire place. They're going, well, we're going to have to put this up on the lift so we can change it without hurting our backs or anything. And he put the air hose on the tire on the van and proceeded to blow up the tire. And I mean explosively blow up the tire. Got that thing, and you could hear the air running out of it. And he just kept pumping and kept pumping and kept pumping. He's sitting right there in front of it, and it went bloom right in his face. I got hit in the ankles with pieces of rubber off of the tire. Lindsay got scared absolutely. Let's say there was bat manure involved. And they go, we'll just change it right here. So they went ahead and jacked it up, did it hard the way, got the hydraulic jack out, lifted it up, pulled the rim off, and put me a new tire on it. Said, yeah, looks like the sensor still works. When the tire blew out, it didn't damage the air pressure sensor, so you're doing good. And then they proceeded to write like $150 off the price of that new tire, just to make sure I didn't call a lawyer and go, "Hey, these people endangered my life by trying to fix my car."
I am glad to hear about this one. I was going through the news. Okay. The U.S. Army on May 29th inaugurated the new Universal Artillery Projectile Line Facility in Mesquite, Texas, that will produce 155 millimeter artillery munitions, and is part of Washington's effort to modernize its shell production. Oh, goodness. It's this new factory. They can do 155, which is the American standard, or NATO standard. They can also do Soviet shells in 122 and 152.
Okay.
They can do up
Joe.
to one. Oh, yeah. The new production facility can do up to 100,000 shells per month. Oh,
How much?
It can do 36,000 per month now, roughly about 30,000 a month. And then apparently by the end of 2025, it should be able to do 100,000 shells per month.
I'll be right back.
That's not shabby.
I don't know if I could shoot them that fast.
I'll load them in an A10. That'll get rid of them.
Well, they used to do that sort of stuff. Back in the day when the artillery shell, matter of fact, that's what sank the Arizona was a naval shell that had been converted to a bomb. So how you doing? I'm glad to see you're still breathing.
Exhausted.
I had a good day today. Took care of some pets, mowed the yard, had to do lawnmower maintenance. Showered. Took me a good shower after that. And then grocery store, Ace Hardware. And tomorrow I got to start planting some more plants in buckets.
I don't know if you saw these yet.
No. What are these yet? Is that a keychain or a beer opener?
It's a keychain that's going to hang on your lanyard.
Oh.
For the first timers.
Really?
Hot off the printer.
Nope, just broke it. There you go.
Only thing is, if I print more than 3 or 4 at a time, they turn out like this.
If you quit dropping them and breaking them, they might look better.
Fingers. It's all bent and warped and
Yeah. Can you not heat it and get it to lay flat?
no.
You stick it in the oven. Stick it in the oven on a plate at 250. Get your cookie sheet. Some aluminum foil. So, did you ever get the clear stuff for your helmet?
Yeah, it's a box over there.
Oh, you ain't built it yet?
No, I just got the printer working.
Oh, what'd you do this time?
Oh, takes forever to get parts for it.
Would you wear out a part?
I got the glob of death. Melted plastic all.
Clogged up the nozzle again.
That's my latest print.
Yeah, your Raptor motor. Yeah.
Yep. And that helmet fits my head. So that should tell you about how big that Raptor engine is.
42 feet. Sorry, I couldn't resist. No. It's strange, Joe Dog, considering the difference in our heights.
Yeah.
You wear a much larger hat than I do.
Yeah, they do say I got a big head.
I'm not talking about what your wife brags. Not the green room.
What are you guys doing next Wednesday morning, by the way?
Sleeping. I can answer that. Now that I'm retired, I can answer that with confidence. I will be sleeping.
Me too. Just not with Dan.
All day if I can manage it.
They're going to be going for lunch on Wednesday morning.
Which lunch?
The big one. Starship.
Oh, because Saturday they're supposed to be putting that Starliner pod with people.
With people and a helium leak.
No. They fixed the helium leak. They know which seal is out on it, and apparently they've been playing around tightening it up. You know how you got to tighten it a little bit, see if it stopped, then tighten it a little bit, see if it stopped. And, So apparently they think they've got the helium leak under control or minimized, meaning they can barely tell it's leaking. So. But if all the crew reports come back like this, we'll know.
Yeah.
Well, now it's my turn to run down the hallway.
One small step for man, one giant step for mankind.
Yeah, I know.
Houston, we have a problem. Okay.
We all sound like Mickey Mouse. Mm.
Well, let me see. Tornado warnings through Texas. That's pretty good. Porsche's forgotten 16-cylinder supercar.
Whoa.
Yeah. Looks like a cross between a VW Bug and the Batmobile.
Surprised they don't use those spark plug wires that actually light up as the spark travels.
I'm going to pull this up because this is just an awesome looking little car.
Oh my.
Yeah, I just told you it looks like a cross between, a VW Bug and the Batmobile.
That is very retro right there.
Why do I expect ZZ Top to get out of that car with a bunch of beautiful women?
I expect Randy Newman to get out of the suicide doors from that one.
Yep. Well, darn it. That did not work as well as I wanted it to.
Nope.
Yeah. Oh, well. Refresh.
Methinks you went a click too far. There you go.
There we go. Okay. One of these days, I'm going to learn how to use a computer.
They'll change them right after that.
He designed it in the 1930s.
Oh, that explains the retro look. Yeah.
It never saw production. But apparently he was trying to make a car that could keep up with Bugatti.
So what was the horsepower on it?
Let's just find it. Let me see. 291 horsepower in a 4.4 liter supercharged V16.
Hell, I've got that in a Kia van.
Yeah, I know
on a V6.
A 4.4 liter. Well, wait a minute. A 350 V8, not just a Chevy 350 V8, is 5.7 liter.
Yeah.
So this is something like a 302, somewhere in that range.
Mm-hmm.
But with 16 cylinders instead of 8. So it's got twice as many cylinders. Interesting. Puts out 391 foot-pounds of torque. Top speed, 174 miles an hour.
Okay. It's ready for Atlanta.
Yeah. Compared to the Bugatti, which can only do 123 miles an hour and only had 200 horsepower in a 3.3 liter inline 8. Ooh, that'd be interesting. It's like a submarine engine.
Yeah. I could see that if it was converted to a diesel. I could see that in some of the British canal boats.
I bet it'd make a heck of a racing engine in a boat.
Hey, yeah. Trouble is, they use exclusively diesel over there. There's not that many gasoline-powered boat engines that aren't just outboards. That's about the only ones. That's about the only ones that are
less of a fire hazard with diesel. So.
Yes, definitely. And historically it had been cheaper for decades.
Right kind of diesel motor, and you can. Somebody has turned their Cybertruck. Lewis Lee posted at Stupid O'Clock. Somebody turned their Cybertruck into the Warthog from Halo. And they got in the back where the bed's supposed to be. They've got the 50 cal mounted with the Master Chief behind it. It's
that's one I would expect to see at a car show at a convention. Oh dear. Yeah, it would have been a hot car for that day. Yeah, not too shabby for today either.
And of course,
Faster
it
than
was
I'd ever want to go.
it was designed in Germany at the time when they were building the autobahns.
Whoa.
Can you
Huh.
imagine being the first guy to drive on the autobahn in that car? Yes.
They designed the Autobots in Germany.
Yes.
I was just getting plugged up and hurt. Okay. What? Oh. Yeah, I had to go get a load off my mind. I feel a lot better.
I'm glad.
No,
Great. I got to go through all this again just for Joe. Hang on a second.
no, Dan, I was asking about, if y'all were going to be awake, because I want to see the heat tiles glow red again.
Okay.
Well, you remember that. You were sitting there watching it.
Is that before
Yeah,
or
I
after?
was.
That's on the re-entry.
Yeah. This is what I was just showing Dan. I just found this.
Porsche's forgotten what?
Supercar. It is
16-cylinder.
16 cylinder. Let's see. Ferdinand Porsche designed it in the 1930s. He was designed it to compete with the Bugatti at the time, which was the high performance car. And see, you got the performance comparisons down here. A 4.4 liter supercharged V16, 291 horsepower, 391 pounds of foot torque, and a top speed of 174 miles per hour. And I was just on that. Can you imagine being the first? This was about the time they were building the autobahns. Can you imagine being the first person on the autobahn and driving that?
It'd have been fun.
And I was telling Dan, it looks like a cross between a VW Bug and the Batmobile. Either that or I expect ZZ Top to get out the side of it with a bunch of good-looking women.
Well, if you look at where the door handle is placed, it is a suicide door.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
You really wouldn't want that to come open on you at 174 mile an hour.
No.
You wouldn't want to bail out here. But yeah, the shape of the door, though, it has to be that way. I wonder if it's a back door.
From the visible seams, I don't think so. I think anybody getting in the back seat has to get in on the passenger side. And they have to flip half the front seat over to get in.
But it does have kind of a Volkswagen look to it. I mean,
Yeah. Well, that's a holdover from the time period.
Oh, Donna's going late, or Donna's bowing out. So.
Oh, wow. Looks like Last Man Standing will be run the opening credits, run the closing credits, and good night, everybody.
Hi, bye.
Hey, I'm not sitting there by myself. And Carl's going to be going on after Donna here in about half an hour.
Yeah. Somebody has modified their Cybertruck.
That's the one.
I still wouldn't mind having one that was not modified. I mean, it would make me really wish that I had a Damnation Alley Landmaster to tow it around with, but
Just don't run it through a car wash.
what happened in the car wash?
Shorts the electronics out.
Oh,
And Tesla's insurance won't pay for it. You got to, when you pull up to the car wash, you got to switch it into car wash mode.
I hope they make that button really prominent on the control panel.
There was a movie with Chevy Chase and Sigourney Weaver and Gregory Hines where he was an arms dealer. Chevy Chase was an arms dealer. And they were trying to sell this drone technology that the United States didn't want. So they were trying to sell it to everybody else. And it turns out when they were testing it, it went haywire and they couldn't control it. And the guy who's in charge of the project goes, "Okay, what's going on?" He says, "Well, we wanted it to look good for the premiere, so we washed it before we sent it out, and we don't think it was dry all the way. So it may have caused a short circuit." And the guy's looking at him. He's like, "Have you never heard of rain?" Like designing a weapon system that can't function in the rain. Yeah, that's a good way not to.
Yeah, that's a good waste of money right there.
There was a reason why the Americans didn't want it.
One fellow whose videos I watched retired from the Marine Corps and he going out camping and doing all this and it starts raining. I go, "Yep, mud follows Marines. I've heard that all my life." And he goes, "No lie detected."
Oh, did you see the video with War Hamster writing
Yes.
the after report?
Yes.
They were feeding the squirrels NyQuil lace Cheetos.
And then once the squirrel passed out, they'd catch the squirrel and they'd shave lieutenant rank, officer rank into the side of the squirrels and then let them loose in the Marine compound. And of course, all the Marines had to salute them because they had more rank than they did. So anyway, this one poor guy, he shows up at the aid station with a squirrel stuck to his left finger and it will not let go. So they had to remove a squirrel with a handful of peanuts.
"I'm sorry, I can't shake it off. It outranks me."
And the Marines were told no more officer parties. Or squirrel officer parties.
Oh dear.
Yes, I sent that to my Marine brethren. And my brother sends back, he's prior service Marine. He sends back, "Yep, sounds about right."
Oh, what about the guy driving the pin in on the tank tread with a shell? This is how you have safety briefings.
Yeah,
Don't have safety briefings.
he was using the back end of an artillery shell to pound a pin into a tank tread.
Oh,
Oh,
There-
then
there-
there was one with the guy holding the mortar.
That You do not put people in front of the muzzle of the mortar. Even when
Period.
you're firing it, you stand to the side. Why he was down there holding that? And the one thing I noticed, the one thing that they were very wrong about, they never set the base plate. If you go back and look at that video, you can see the spades sitting on top of the dirt. You're not supposed to see those spades. They're supposed to be down in the dirt. And that's why the base plate went flying back. Now, that was a 60 millimeter mortar. It's the extremely lightweight 60 millimeter mortar. So it does tend to bounce around a bit. I have seen people stand on the base plates and fire them, so the base plate doesn't jump. But apparently they've had a bad experience with that too, would be my guess.
Yep, this guy's laying flat on the ground, holding the legs. Guy drops the mortar. It goes off. He looks up and he's staring down the muzzle of the mortar.
It was on stupid o'clock. And of course I saw it, Joe. You put my name in the signature column.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure you saw that one.
Yeah, that 60 millimeter mortar, the system comes with 2 base plates. What you saw in that video was the ground mounted base plate. It comes with a smaller patrol base plate. And if you attach the patrol base plate to it, you can actually carry it around like a glorified grenade launcher. It has a trigger. It has a level bubble. You drop the round in it. You can only I think you can only fire charge 1 or 0. But you basically aim over the muzzle, look at the level bubble to get the range right, and then pull the trigger. But the base plate has to be on the ground, of course. So.
And Dan's looking like, and this is our best.
No, I'm looking like, and then you report to the med bay for.
No. It is, you have to have it on the ground to fire it. But
see that part I did not hear before I had that expression on my face.
But they do. Yeah, they do. They carry it around on patrol, and if you see something you have to shoot very much, he's the guy that puts it down there, aims over the muzzle, gets the level, gets the range right, and bang. So they normally put a mortar shell in there at charge 0 for 2 reasons. 1, shorter ranged. So if you're doing a jungle patrol and you walk up on something, you want minimum range. And 2, if you're doing some sort of patrol and it's raining or anything else like that, you're not walking around with a tube full of water soaking the charge bag. So, new ones, though, they don't have charge bags anymore. They have donuts.
Donuts a C4.
No, it's some sort of foam and plastic, almost like cellophane container with the propellant in it. And it's a C-shaped donut with a slit on one side. And there's 4 of them on, well, depending on the mortar shell. I think the 120 millimeter actually has 6. I've never got to work with that one. But the 60 and the 81 have 4 donuts on it. And it gives you a much wider range of charges, but it doesn't give you the fine tuning that the older mortar shells had. So you get more hang time when you don't want to have more hang time. So, especially now that they have counter battery radar, you really don't want your mortar shells hanging around the air for very long.
Oh, when I was beginning the cleanup of my my desk to put in new inboxes over here, I actually found my airsoft pistol that I had originally painted up to look like a brass and copper Desert Eagle. and the paint's faded just a hair. It's still pretty, but I never put a shiny coat on it or anything to protect it. So, oh, good night, Carl.
I'm fading fast myself.
Mm. Uh,
Yeah, I took a little. I got a short nap right before the show, and when I say short, I think I laid down and actually got maybe 30 minutes of sleep and like 30 minutes of laying there listening to the fan. Oh, thank you. That's it in with the patrol base plate I was telling you about. He's already got the bipod, but he's got the bipod attached. Interesting. Okay, and then that's the patrol base plate again, and you can see the trigger inside the trigger handle.
yeah.
That's them firing it in patrol mode.
Yeah, you don't
Good
want to be on receiving end of that.
Good picture too. That has to be charge 0. And there's a full ground mount configuration.
Oh, reminds me, John, do you remember the story about the Taliban over in Afghanistan hiding in a cave?
I know
And
several stories about the Taliban in Afghanistan hiding in a cave.
they were come running out after, we sent a barrage of mortars up there at them. And they'd come running out. Then we'd launch another volley in. Well, they got tired of it, so they called a B-52.
As one would. What I want to show you, if you could bring that up full screen, Joe, so y'all can see it. Good.
Let's see it.
You can see each one of these are charge 0 because they don't have the donut rounds on them. These are charge 1, and you can see the donuts I was telling you about on them. So that ammo bearer's already got the mortar ammo ready to go. And, caught one in the that is pretty. That's be curious to know how they got that picture because that ain't easy to do.
You gotta have
High
a high-speed
speed
camera and
Yeah, but you got to time it.
edit one frame out. Yeah.
That's about the only thing I can think of is that's high speed motion picture, and they just pull one frame out.
Yeah. That's the only way I know of how to do it.
Yeah, Photoshop. Yeah.
I don't think they had Photoshop at that particular time.
Yeah, that's new uniforms.
Oh, okay.
Those uniforms are newer than Photoshop. So
And
you
Dan,
would know better than me.
they they called in the airstrike, and they said, okay, drop when we say drop. Drop. Then they fired a volley up at them. They ran in the cave. Boop, 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 boop. They all come running back out. About 50 500-pound bombs rained down on top of them. The mountain was about 40 feet shorter.
Well,
I never got to see one of those.
What?
B-52 strike. At least not that I know of. So.
But I'm sure you've heard the bird.
Yeah, but only in training. I've never actually seen one active duty. I've seen them in training.
That's right. You said you usually got the F-16s.
We usually got F-16s. We didn't even get Apaches. We got the OH-58, the Kiowa Ds. Not that they're shabby, just they don't look as mean as the Apache.
Of course, my favorite bird's the Spectre.
Now those I got to pull guard on, but I never actually got to see them do their job, but I got to see them come home and dump all the brass out of the back of the plane with snow shovels. And I was like, must have been a good day.
Call a recycle bin.
Was it Grenada or Panama that the sniper had them pinned down in the building? So the Spectre comes in and he goes, "What floor is he on?" "He's on the second floor. Just light up the second floor." "What window?" "Just light up the second floor." "What window?" They ended up using the building as an HQ.
Was one room short, but
Oh.
baloney mist can be painted over.
So
Yes, I've been watching the fat electrician's videos. He's
So-
very expressive.
North Korea tried to put a military spy satellite into orbit, and it failed miserably. And for some reason, they got pissy about it and fired 10 short-range ballistic missiles into the ocean. I have no idea what that insane person is doing.
Screw you, tin fish, especially.
No, what they're doing is they're now blowing up their first stage of their rockets to keep us from analyzing them.
No, they were trying to put a spy satellite up, and it got off the launch pad.
Oh, that's about as far as it got.
It got a few, and I'm not sure the exact. I wish Zach were here. He probably knows for certain. It got a little ways.
Chris.
It got a little ways up in the air, but I don't think it made max Q. So, or if it did make max Q, that's what killed it. So, hey, Chris. Let me look at that. North Korean satellite.
I hope you can spell it better than I can.
There's 2 L's in satellite. And the only reason I know that is I used to have a laptop that was a satellite. Here we go. Which one of these I want to read? The hills usually go pretty good. Oh, wait. No, let's try this one. Yahoo News. North Korea said its new liquid oxygen engine caused the downfall of its latest spy satellite and blew up in midair. Just trying to see how far downrange it got.
Oh, I got a response from Elon today on Twitter.
Oh, what did he say?
He said, "Write a sad story in 3 words." So I put, "Starship exploded spectacularly. Not funny."
Yeah, it's a sad story in 3 words.
You know what you should have sent?
What?
United Launch Alliance.
No, he said sad story, not comedy.
Let's see. Oh, wait. Where did that go? About 2 minutes after the rocket was launched toward the Yellow Sea. Oh, wait. That's when they detected fragments. Darn it. I guess they just don't have that kind of coverage on North Korean spy satellites.
It got up about 3 feet and went rud.
Well, actually, they got a. Let me see. I'm going to do this. It's on YouTube, but hang on a second. They're forcing me to listen to advertising. I'm gonna.
As they do. Excuse me. As they do.
Fortunately, it had a skip button.
Yep. Some of them don't anymore.
Yeah, I hate the ones that make you sit through 20 minutes of, bladder control commercials or feminine hygiene products or whatever the hell they're trying to sell. Well, if it says anything about how high up it got before it exploded, it's in Korean. So.
Ask Google to translate it.
I don't think you can translate off of the video. But.
Oh, okay. You'll have to ask your Autobot to do that then. Or Joe's Autobot.
That's not a bad idea. It's a shame she's downstairs in the kitchen. Let's see. Why is Kim Jong-il wearing an orange dress? Oh, wait, that's his sister. Let's see. Hard to tell from the back because they both got that big Korean ass.
Good night, everybody.
Oh, Lord.
I wonder, yeah, that's just, waste. I guess he likes spending money on propaganda. Launching 10 missiles like that for no damn good reason. Everybody likes fireworks. Ooh.
Well, even though one blew up, the other 10 successfully hit the sea.
Well, they hit the sea in one piece. The first one, with the spy satellite, it hit the sea too, just kind of a cluster bomb effect. And no, Chris, I have never actually owned a Dell computer. Well, no, wait a minute. I take that back. I inherited a Dell computer. I did not actually own one. So I used to be a loyal Toshiba fan, and this HP is actually the first non-Toshiba I've ever bought. So, but it was pretty. Of course, it started breaking down almost within the first year that I had it. So. This drive don't work. The battery died. So what's the other problem I have? Oh, the keyboard's starting to go out.
Yeah.
So it's a shame Toshiba quit making good gaming computers. Started going to business stuff.
We spent one day this week. Lindsay emptied out what in a normal household would be a linen closet, but for us it was a tool closet, and it had all kinds of stuff. It even cans of paint and whatnot, and we sorted through everything, threw a bunch of dried up paint away, sorted through all the little bits and bobs that never got put into a toolbox of any kind, and put everything back and had plenty of room left. And while she was pulling stuff out of the closet because she didn't want me to get in her way, I was sitting back here rewiring the external hard drives for this computer and transferring the USB hub from the old computer that's going to be obsolete here next year into the USB hub of this computer I'm streaming on right now. So now I've got 50 terabytes of external hard drives on this damn computer. But
Guys,
everything is nice and neat and not in my way anymore. Instead of having wires going everywhere, looking like Victor Frankenstein's laboratory, it actually looks like with it's pretty. Uh,
I'm
None of it
tapping
is
out,
in my
guys.
way.
I'm tapping out. I'm just wiped.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm usually asleep by now. Oh, sorry about that.
Bless you. You
Last
can't
Well,
week,
hang. You can't hang on for another 30 minutes.
no, last week, the reason I wasn't here is I laid down about 6 o'clock for a nap. Next thing I knew, it was 8 o'clock in the morning.
That'll do it.
as you do. Well, as I said, if I don't have somebody joining in right after I run the opening credits, Michaela, I have been so worried. Oh,
All right, I'm done, guys. I'm sorry.
all right. Good night, Joe.
All
Hey,
right,
Michaela.
good night. Hi,
Good night,
Michaela.
Joe.
Hi, Michaela. See you Saturday.
Yeah, that last Facebook post of yours that I saw had me worried. I'm glad to see that you're still around with us and not in one of those tragedy sort of ways, but not giving up on hanging with your friends. But you head to bed when you need to, and we'll catch up later. Uh, no, like I was saying before, Joe Dog bailed on us. If I don't have somebody to talk to in Last Man Standing, I'm just going to make it a very short show and close it out pronto. Oh yeah. Um yes, I'm sure. Um, Believe me, a friend of ours ran into that with the mystery genre as well, and she was equally as disgusted with the backstabbing and bull going on. Um, I mean, seriously, it's not like people are only going to buy one writer's books ever. If they like a certain style of writing, they're gonna go for that, no matter who's the author. Um, yeah. Let's see. Left Facebook only. Okay. Um, Probably tomorrow night will be the best chance to catch up with you. Um, oh,
Hmm. I don't know that I'd have left Facebook over it because, you're a
uh,
writer. You should. It, Michaela, you're a writer. You should easily be able to destroy people on Facebook.
thing is, she had her account hacked shortly before this.
Ah,
So people are going, is this the real Michaela? Or, you know,
that'll
um,
do it. And there's a lot of
yeah,
that. There's a lot of that going around. I don't know how people. Well, I do know how people are doing it. It's my mom. She clicks on
yeah.
anything. Um,
My sister went through the same damn thing. She can't reclaim her original account, and whoever it is that stole her original account is now posting stuff up for auction and all the and folks that know my sister are using the landline and calling her house and going, "Hey, do you still have that Corvette for $50?" Or yeah, or whatever the hell it is that they've got going on. Um, uh,
I think somebody's trying to do that with my mom, but if they know my mom, they know they're not going to get any money out of her friends. That's
uh, yeah, it's all this stuff. It makes me appreciate the folks that hunt the scammers down to whatever particular hotel in India they are in and destroy their entire computer network with one button push. Um, and this stuff, I know there's infighting in every genre of writing. It's people feel like they're in competition with their fellow writers in that genre, as well as everybody that writes everything else, because they want everybody to buy their stuff and nobody else's. Um, and unless your audience is comprised of single interest fans, the world don't work that way. And single interest fans are a thing. People that only ever would be interested in Babylon 5, or only ever would be
yeah.
interested in
Star
Lost in
Trek.
Space, or
Yeah,
only ever Star Trek, or only ever Star Wars, and nothing else. Nothing else penetrates the bubble. But most everybody else is going, hey, this is cool.
it's the
Uh,
Barbarella fan page.
hey, for some people, that was probably cool. Um, I mean, seriously, there's somebody out there that refuses to watch any other science fiction except Fifth Element.
There can only be one Batman, and his name is West.
We'll have to agree to disagree on that, because there's several that I really like, and he's
No, no,
one.
no, no, no. You don't understand. I'm one of those fans. There is only one Batman, and his name is West. No, no, I'm not really one of those fans. I do like Adam West though, because it's campy as it was. It was.
Yeah, yeah. What really hits me, what brings it home to me, is Green Hornet was on at the same time, done by the same production crew, with a lot of the same actors and stuntmen and whatever, but it was done absolutely seriously rather than camp.
Right.
And you
No,
look at Green Hornet and you go, holy shit, Batman 66 could have been this?
look, give you an example. You were just talking about Green Hornet. They could have done Batman better. And so
But
can you
it was
imagine?
a thing.
Can you imagine a Green Hornet and Dragnet crossover?
Easily. Yeah,
Just the facts, Mr. Hornet.
or crossover with Agent Erskine of the FBI, or you know,
Adam 12. Batman and Adam
that
12.
that hey, anything in Adam 12. Um,
So why are we blocking traffic? Oh, there's supposed to be some VIP coming by in a second. Okay, we're done.
really, that's a good time for all. Yeah, there's so many things that, and there are people that do nothing but crossovers. I mean, that's their jam. They will cross over all kinds of things, and people love it just for the cultural references, even if it's not pop culture anymore, it's more
No, I like what
used to
Chris
be.
did. Green Hornet, the
Green
man
Hornet,
from
Man from Uncle. Hell yeah, that would rock.
another good crossover. Uh, Gary Anderson's UFO and Gary Anderson's Space 1999.
Actually, there are a lot of Jerry Anderson fans that think Space 1999 is a direct sequel to UFO.
Should be, yeah.
Um, now, what was I thinking before you threw me to the curb?
Green Hornet, Man from Uncle.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Well, in the thing that people think it's got to be a direct sequel, Danger Man / Secret Agent Man, depending on which side of the pond you're on, and The Prisoner. A lot of people think The Prisoner is supposed to be a direct sequel to Danger Man, Secret Agent Man.
Now, can you imagine?
McGowan has said it is not.
Can you imagine a James Bond, The Prisoner crossover, where James Bond's stuck on the island?
That would be interesting. Although McGowan's spy character was very Bondish without the gadgets, and I said Bond-ish, not bondage.
Well,
With
it was The
a
Prisoner.
thousand people watching are going, missed it by that much.
The show was called The Prisoner. Okay.
Oh. No, there was another crossover I was thinking of, or was I just generalizing on crossovers? Yeah, there are people that do. That's their jam. That's their style. They do nothing but crossovers. Of course, there's the Wold Newton gang that does gang. That's not what they call themselves, but they are into Philip Jose Farmer's genealogies of pulp fiction heroes and villains and whatnot crossed over with everybody else. Basically, Sherlock Holmes and Doc Savage and Monk Mayfair were cousins. There's Tarzan is still alive after all these years, and is a distant relative. Just all the pulp heroes and villains.
They did that with what was it? League of Extraordinary Gentlemen,
Yes.
and took all those, early pulp fiction type things. And
Yeah. Under this premise, all of them except Mina would have been cousins, basically, or some kind of family relationship in there.
have you ever heard? Have you ever heard the second story of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
I have read several of the comics, but I
The
don't
one,
know.
the one where the Martians invade, and it's H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds. Martians.
Yes.
Okay.
I think I did read that one. Because there's an entire series of leagues of extraordinary gentle beings. That went on for a few years. It may still be going on as far as I know. I don't know.
Yeah. Chris said crossover would be James Bond and the Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yep.
Can you imagine James Bond and Mission Impossible? The original cast of Mission Impossible. Not
Oh, okay. That brings it back to mind.
Barbara Bain and Martin Landau and Peter Graves and what was the other fella? I'm terrible.
There were several. I can't remember the names of all the actors. Can't remember the names of all the characters. No, the one I was thinking of, there was a show called Probe, which had it didn't
involve bondage, did it?
Nope.
Okay.
It was a non-government organization. They had these little cameras and communicators on a necklace around their neck, had cameras in it and everything. I'm going, hey, this would be a great crossover with a $6 million man. And there was another one that was similar to Probe that didn't have the cameras, but they had some other gimmick, and I can't remember what it was, but it was about the same time period. Competing network, similar theme. And then back in the 90s, you had all these independent superhero shows that really, if they could have had their own league.
One that I am surprised they did not do a crossover of was Doctor Who and the Tomorrow People.
Yes, that would have been pretty much a natural.
Yeah. Because wasn't that like Tom Baker's time frame?
Yeah, it would have been. And would have fit in absolutely perfectly as a sub-branch of Unit.
And would have explained why the Doctor was so interested in Earth. So, because he was watching Earth evolve from Homo sapien to Homo superior. So.
And
I think that's what they call him.
Another one that would fit in very well with that was a children's show. I think it only had one season, called Into the Labyrinth. And basically these three kids walked into a cave and wound up in different time periods.
I believe I remember seeing that.
One of the episodes featured a guy that they were really courting to be a Doctor Who. His name, I do believe, was Ron Moody. And he would have been a very crossover between John Pertwee and Patrick Troughton sort of Doctor. Flashy and flamboyant, yet comedic at the same time.
Oh, something I wanted to throw at you. Do you remember that cartoon, or it's a kids show that they had? I want to say it was CBS on Saturday mornings with Charles Nelson Riley was dressed as a crocodile.
Yes, Uncle Croc's Block.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
Because
that was one of the sillier ones. Yes.
Well, the thing was, if I'm not mistaken, that was the first time I was on that series. That was the first time I saw Gallagher. I believe he went and did a skit. I think he went and did. I can't remember what skit. I think he did the watermelon skit, but I might be wrong. So.
Yeah. Gallagher, his career was going great till his brother decided to swipe his shtick and go out and impersonate him.
Well, he had a heart attack, and his brother at first had permission to do that while Gallagher recovered, and then later
Refused to give it up.
dueling Gallaghers. Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. This town
Yeah.
ain't big enough for two sledge-o-matics. Yeah, where's Dawn when I need her?
In bed.
Oh. Boy, there's
Which-
a joke I ain't touching.
Wait till tomorrow.
Not the green room. Not
yep.
the, yes.
Which gives me 10 minutes to get ready to run the opening credits of Last Man Standing and then run the closing credits of Last Man Standing. I don't think I could sit there in freeform for 2 hours on my own. And everybody else has gone to bed.
Oh.
So, all my regulars, and even some of the irregulars.
I thought they were all irregulars.
And they're extraordinary. Let's see. Let me go ahead and open up the page and get ready to do this thing, however briefly it is. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Joe Dog schedules these, and we never know if we're actually going to be doing them or if it's just not going to happen until the day. Hell, I could be sick and have to go not even show up for this. And Joe Dog just have to unschedule it. It is what it is. I mean, it's not like we're getting paid. Oh, speaking of getting paid, I got a royalty check this week.
Really?
Yeah.
You going to tell me how much, or you don't want to?
$13.87.
God, what are you going to do with all the money?
I already bought another 12-pack. I was so embarrassed to go to the bank and deposit a $13 check. And what's worse is it showed up in the mailbox, and emblazoned on the envelope was payment inside. And I'm going, dude, I live out in the middle of nowhere. We already have to run to the mailbox to make sure that somebody doesn't steal the mail out of it. Making somebody think there's actually something worthwhile. Hell, they'd probably steal it, open it up, and go, this ain't worth.
They'd bring it back and slip a 20 in the envelope.
Really, this ain't worth me stealing your identity to cash. Yeah, here's $20 for your effort.
Really? I'm sorry I opened your envelope. Here's $20. It's one thing I'm so proud I got the lawn mowed today, but
Tell me about it. Got ours mowed, and my push mower is still in the shop.
I got to fix that other one and get rid of it. And the only thing's wrong with it is the springs for the carburetor choke rusted and broke. If I can find those two damn little springs, I can have it up and running in 5 minutes.
Hey, Google is your friend.
I've tried ordering the parts and what is it? MTD. I think is the name of the company that made it. They're always out of stock.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
Was it?
I'm pretty sure if I knew what size springs to get, and I kind of do, I'd probably go down here to Ace and get them. Just get
Yeah.
a couple springs. But we've got 2 push mowers, so.
Yeah.
And then when the big one broke, we went and bought the riding mower. So.
Hell, I got a riding mower in the woods, riding away. Probably the only thing I would need to do to resurrect it is get a new battery and
Tires.
no, it's got inner tubes in the tires, but
Oh.
I could run those for a little while longer on what it is. But no, I was thinking the carburetor would be all gummed up.
Mm.
And
The trick to that though, use real gasoline. Don't use the ethanol stuff.
I've got no way of knowing what's in it.
Yeah. When you go to the when you go to the store to buy the gasoline, find you a gas station that sells real gas. I got one down the street. It used to be Midnight Oil. I think it's a Marathon now, if I'm not mistaken. But both islands have one pump that sells real gasoline. And it's medium octane.
Yeah, but after 8 years sitting in the woods, I'm willing to bet that carburetor is going to be messed up no matter what kind of gasoline was in it. And basically, I talked to the guy that repaired it the last time. He goes, look, somebody brings me in a push mower or a riding mower and it won't crank or anything. First thing I do, I pull the carburetor off, I order another one, I put the new one on, and then I put good gas in it, fresh gas, and see if it'll crank. And if it does, I'm through. He said that's carburetors are just too damn difficult to go through and clean out after it's been sitting up 1 winter, 2 winters, whatever. And then seafoam. I've got seafoam that I put in the gas. About the last time, if I've got any left,
Guys, it is about that time. What do you mean about that time, John? It is that time.
Yes, go ahead and do that voodoo that you do so well, and I'll run down the hallway here. And
thanks everybody for showing up. Thanks Chris and Michaela and Donna and Carl and Mike was here, or who was it that was here for a little bit?
Rob. Yeah.
And Joe. Thanks Joe for showing up.
Yeah.
For a check.
And everybody, I hope y'all feel better, and hope to see a bunch of you tomorrow night in the green room, and Saturday night in this and the other. If I don't see anybody in Last Man Standing tonight, it'll be a really short show. So don't worry. That happens. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed, and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds, and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.